This week we're going to work on framing out the kitchen galley area. But before we do, I want to show you what we've done so far in the loft area. When designing this area, I wanted to leave myself enough headroom that I could sit up here and work on my art or read or whatever comfortably, almost as if this were a second story in the van. I also wanted it to be high enough that I could put a bicycle or two underneath here if I wanted. This is going to be my closet area, and I don't have handles on here right now, but there'll be shelves in here and both sides open up. And if you want to come take a look down here, in this area we have our batteries under here. You can see them there. And all of our main components. And then over here, I'm going to have some shelving. And this opens up as well, but this also passes all the way through to what I consider to be the garage area. So I can slide long items in here from the back. And also this area will be accessible from in here when the doors are closed in the back. These lift out. I'll show you that. And the reason we did it this way, having them lift out in the center, is that I want it to be somewhat modular. Since I am traveling seasonally, we wanted it to be able to be set up to where this whole area could be a bed by putting 3 upholstered cushions across here. We're basically just going to cut up a queen size mattress into 3 sections. There are pins in here that you pull out, and these lift up on top, and they can be left at home or whatever when I travel if I don't want to have them in at all, or I can slide them around along the back in front of the garage area. There's enough space back there to do so. But let me show you how these lift out. There are pins if you want to come down and take a look. The reason for the pins is just to keep it from sliding forward. Can you see that? And they just pull right out. There's 4 pins in each section. And then I can just lift them up and out. Now actually I'm going to lift the front one out first because I want to show you. I'm just going to set it here for now. I want to show you that I have the option of having it like a U desk, where I can just slide right up in here and have it as a work area, because there'll be times when I'm not traveling where this will be my studio. It's going to be awesome. I mean, you take your studio wherever you want. I can be parked at the beach and doing my artwork. So I'm excited about that. Now I can take that section out, and all of this is you can just walk right through here. I can also transport paintings and large tall items right through the center. So I'm not limited that way. You know, I can still use it for carrying cargo. I can use it as a studio. I can use it as a huge bed, or as a single sofa with a floor. And you know, a lot of times when I paint, I sit right on the ground. I like to sit on the ground when I paint, so I can put an easel here and have this floor where I'm working right at my easel. So I think it's going to work well. This drawer here still needs a facing, but But this is actually, it'll have a handle and everything. It's actually a pull-out table, which will be really convenient for extra counter space when cooking and that sort of thing. Especially if Kevin and I are in here together, he can be cooking at one and I cook at the other or whatever, so that we're not in each other's way so much. And this area here that's open, this is actually going to be part of our galley area. It's going to be a wall that's a little taller that works its way around, kind of creates a backsplash. So you'll see that later in the video. See, have I forgotten to tell you anything? Let me show you the garage. It's not a huge amount of garage space, but it does have the lights. And like I said over here, this I can slide large items like trekking poles, a canopy, things like that down in there. And if I don't need to use all that space for garage, I can get to it from this side inside. Let me show you how it goes together. Pretty easy. Just goes right back in. Make sure I get the right pieces on there. Was this the back piece? Then I just slide the pins back in there. Make sure these are in the right position. They also help keep them in the right position. If they are a little off, you know exactly where that needs to go by where the pins are. Once you have those first ones in, it's easy. And each of the sections, right, left, and center, are the same width. So this center section will just stack right on top of the other sections. And it's done. So now we'll start showing you how we are going to frame out the kitchen and galley area.
So I'm going to have to build the center cabinet first. That's going to hold the fridge. And then everything else will get built off of that, measured and cut to fit. So we'll build that cabinet out there. We won't build it in the van. Then we'll bring it in and put it in place. Make sure it's all squared up, the proper distances. So what I've just noticed on the bottom, it's 23.5, and on the top it's 23.125. So this wall is actually starting to curve in as it comes up. So I need to cut that in long in the back. So I need to make sure my front is square, and the back's going to have to angle inward a little bit. So that way that board fits in there properly and the front stays square. Hopefully.
Okay. Okay, so the wood we're going to be using is this 3/4 inch birch plywood. And before we can assemble everything, what we're going to do is put this edge banding all along these edges here. This is a heat activated adhesive that's on the back of this. And when we go to adhere it, it'll go from looking like this to looking like this. This is a piece that we did as a test piece, and as you can see, it just gives it a much nicer finished look. So we're going to do that, and then we'll be ready to start assembling. Okay, so this is the center section of our kitchen, which will go in, and there will be cabinets on each side of it as well. This will hold the drawers. You can see we've got the drawer slides in. We'll have a couple of smaller drawers and a larger drawer, large enough to hold pots and pans and things like that. And then this area underneath is going to hold our fridge slide out. And we've got some holes drilled here which will allow the fridge to ventilate. So next we just got to start building those drawers and put this in the van and get it supported, and we'll show you more of that as we go along. So yesterday when we put this section in, we discovered one little problem that's going to hold us back just a bit. These drawer glides need to be just a little bit longer. The fridge fits in here fine, but what we discovered is when you pull the fridge tray out, the fridge needs to actually clear the front of this enough that when we open the fridge doors, they'll stay open. Otherwise, they won't sit nice and straight, and we'll have to hold them open to get anything out, which will be a pain. So we're gonna get some longer drawer slides, which are supposed to be here tomorrow, and then we'll switch these out, and then we can mount this and put in the tray, and it should be fine. What we're going to do in the meantime is work on the drawers, and as you can see, I already started painting. I want to get a coat of mildew resistant paint on the inside of everything. And we have a section here we're working on, and then we have a cabinet that goes there, and of course it all gets tied together. So that's where we're at right now. So these are the pieces for our slide out cabinet that make up part of our pantry. Kevin's getting ready to assemble that now.
Okay, let's move more to this side.
let me show you what we've done. We have all the drawers put in. We still have to put a facing on everything that we have here. But you can see the drawers are on slides. And Kevin did these with dovetail joinery. And they're 100-pound slides, so that should be plenty strong enough. We have a deep drawer here. And that should fit things like pots and pans, things like that. And then our fridge, we finally got the glides, the 22-inch glides, which, well, actually they accidentally sent us 24-inch, so that actually worked to our favor. So now, if we want, we can pull it all the way out to here. And this glide should hold 500 pounds, so it worked out great. This area here is going to hold our sink. It's going to be some cabinets that open up here. And it'll have our water tank, our water pumps, that sort of thing. And then if you want to look over here, you can see where the fridge vents under the sink. And then this section here is a pantry area. We got our dividing wall in, and what's going to happen here is that this will act as kind of a backsplash. Once we get the countertop on here, it won't look quite as tall as this, and it will work its way all the way around and along the bulkhead wall there. So one added feature to all this is that we can pull this table out, and then the fridge actually can act as a bench to the table. So I think it's going to work out really nice. Now, as far as the stove goes, we're using portable stoves, so we don't have to actually build that in. And what's nice about that is the stove can be put here, it can be put here. So next, I think what we're going to do is start working on the ceiling, get part of that done, the lights, and then we'll probably at that point move on to this countertop, get it put in. When we do that, we'll have the sink we'll have to put in, and then we got flooring to put on the loft, walls to go in. So what order those are going to happen, I can't predict just yet. But like everything else, it'll all come together. So if you like watching the videos, give them a thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you to anyone who's subscribed already, and we'll see you next time.